Can you show me how the AC button works? Well, the AC cycling. Nothing I feel good. Check in now. What's your number?
It'd be nice if I knew how to control this guy. He's just dominating me. So this definitely seems to go like freeze the game. So there's something going on with it. I think what we need to do is take a look at the website and the laser and see if we can figure out what's going on, because that freezing noise, I feel like it can't be done. So let's get this thing taken apart and how we can get that Facebook and the laser. And if we look at it here, wait for it to do the squeaking thing on the phone. So every time it does that, the disc like slows down. Okay, we can't really see anything from here with that disc in there. Maybe that laser, maybe the one laser just needs to be released or something. So let's let go of that sensor and then have a look. The spindle motor seems to turn on, that's for sure. Okay, I think that's what we need to get to. We need to get down to this laser and the rails to put laser slide on so we can have a better look at that. And now it's time for the test part. Well, let's take this apart. I'm going to be using my iFixit Protect toolkit. So I'll be using this smaller driver. I think it's going to work fine. And it looks like we've got probably a Phillips 1 or maybe a Phillips 2 on these screws down here. A 1 is a little loose. Let's try a 2. 2 fits in a nice tight. Yep, perfect. And then one of the cool things about the top cover of that bit set is it can be used as a screw tray. So that's what I'll use it for here. And I'm just going to put the screws in the same kind of orientation as I'm taking them out. So the 2 screws on the bottom will go down here. And then 3 screws on the top will go up near the top. Actually, I'll put on the top just like that. these screws don't really matter for location orientation because they're all the same size, but some things it's super important to get them in the exact same spot, especially with things like iPhones or some other electronics. There might be a screw here, there's a little bit of an indication on that label, but I don't know for sure, so let's see if this bottom will come off. Or maybe it's the top of the gun, actually, no. So, oh, there we go. Never taken one of these apart. Oh, there we go. The inside of it is super clean. So, that's pretty good. It's nice to see an old console like this that is in this good a condition. Okay, and immediately we're just right down to the laser right here. Oh wow, and that just sits on that. Okay, that's cool. So, remove this flex cable there. I think this cable goes up to the valve. There's no lock on that. Put on that. And wow, that is a super easy laser replacement if that's something we ever needed to do. That literally probably would take like 10 minutes max. You could probably do it in 5 minutes. Okay, now let's take a look.
When I had this, I tend to the lens goodbye.
That is cold.
Come and say when year 2000 come, I'll guess what stuff work. You may hear that? You may hear that?
All computer.
All computer, all US, all PS, PlayStation 1, when 2000 year 2000 come. This is shut down. The line, and it's still working now. And I'm fixing it around it. The information
It is just crazy how simple these are compared to the newer consoles that we'll get to here in a few minutes. It's going to be fun to see differences as we go along. Okay, so let's flip over here, right? And flip over here. Well, that back come off, that will flip, and come out, and there we go. Okay, so there's the inside of the laser for this PS1. I wonder if I can use it. What I want to do is see if I can figure out what's making that loud screeching noise. I don't know if it's, these are metal sliding on the plastic rail, or the gears in here, and there's more of them, more plastic on metal rails here, although it looks like this one's greased pretty good. I don't know if the laser itself could be making that, but I guess that is possible as well. Oh, and then look at this. We got a problem with the spindle right here for sure. I suppose that the spindle could cause that problem as well. Oh, look at this. Okay, so that's a problem for sure. So I wonder if that noise is from this piece of the spindle spinning on this shaft right here. Ah, that could definitely be it. I feel like that could definitely be the problem, because when it would make that kind of like screeching noise, the game would kind of like freeze up. And it could be because the disc was slowing down or something like that, because it was sliding on the shaft right here. So this has to keep the disc spinning at a certain speed, and if this is slipping, it can't really do that. So then that can make it so this disc slows down and makes the game kind of skip or freeze. I think that's what makes sense to me anyway. So we got to find either another disk drive, or maybe we can just replace this piece of the spindle. I'm not really sure. So I got to look around my parts bins. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so in my parts bin, I did find this other PS1. It's a different model.
Yes, these boy.
The motor is almost all the way seized up, but this piece looks like it's good on this. So I wonder if we can take just the top of this and put it onto this disk drive and make that one work. I don't know, but let's get it apart and find out. I've also never taken one of these apart. This must be the PS1 Slim. I don't know. I'm sure most of you in the comments will know more about these than I know. Oh, that's not good. This screw is full of rust. I feel like we're taking apart a liquid damaged PlayStation here, which means that laser assembly is probably not good, but we really just need that spindle piece, and if we can get that, I think maybe we can make this other one work. Maybe. We do have a warranty seal on this one, so I think that probably has to come off. Yep. So, right about there, I think. Maybe? There we go. Okay, let's see how bad this looks inside. I think it's gonna not look great. Oh yeah, look at this. Liquid damage all over this thing. But we just need some parts off of this, so hopefully there will be enough good parts on it that we can make this work. Really hope so. Okay. Also, let's just look at this board real quick. Oh wow, that's actually not as bad as I thought. Over here, there's definitely some issues. That's an issue, but I mean, what this looks like, that actually isn't that bad. But we're not going to worry about that right now. That's not the one we're working on today. Let's see if we can steal some parts off of this disk drive. Oh yeah, this motor is just totally frozen up. So that's the problem for sure. But we just need to steal some parts off of it.
Does it see mud?
Yeah.
If we can. I've never taken one of these motors apart before, so I'm not even sure if that'll work. So how are we going to get this apart? This top black piece, I think, should maybe come off. Oh yeah, that's actually coming off already. Okay, that's good news. Let's see if it'll come all the way off, though, without flinging across the room. Okay, there we go. So, it looks like how this works is when you put a game disc in, it pushes on these little balls right here, which then put more pressure on this rubber band thing right here. And that is just press fit onto this motor shaft. So, let's see if that fit onto this one. So this one's fairly loose, it just kind of comes right off. This one is much tighter. Oh yeah. There we go. I think that might be what we need. Look at that.
Coconut water, Lucia.
Okay.
Coconut water.
Yeah.
So
Cheap,
I
eh?
don't know
I want $5 on the way.
Oh, that doesn't light, buddy.
Turn it to me.
Okay. So then the disc
Somebody say
fit
hi.
on
Say
here
something
like
good.
this.
All right, big up everybody, guys.
Like
We just
that.
was doing a timing belt.
Okay.
Cool kid.
So let's reinstall.
We just doing a
this.
timing belt on
That's all it took to fix it. So this
2009
has to
Honda Accord. I was just
here.
finishing up, so we're just doing some filters. So that feel free to stick in and watch. If you have any question about anything,
That should be able to
don't be
clip
shy.
on
And if you're new to the
somehow.
channel, please consider subscribing, guys. And check out some of my video, guys, because we're looking for the watch hours too. So thank you, guys. I'm not feeling too good, but I'm trying to bring some content to you guys. So don't be shy. You just changing the air filter now.
Come on. This just needs to come out enough to slip over that, like that. Okay. And
Hopefully you could join the channel, shall I
the
run it?
cable's right in the
Engine
slot
oil.
like it needs to be. Now we just need to reinstall these two screws and we
Engine
can
oil.
put it back into the
It's
console.
just one bolt.
Okay, screws are in.
You can't
Huh?
We can drop this
Oh my. You can't change the oil.
right onto the
Change
pegs
oil.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still crazy to me
I want
how
to
easy
transmission
this
chain
thing is
drain
to
and the engine oil.
take apart and
You
work
could do
on.
that?
That's all it takes to repair this disc
oil
drive.
change.
A flex cable, a 4-pin connector, and then it just comes right off.
No, some
And
confusion.
now we will get the top piece back on. Just like that. Put the screws in, and we can test it. You'd think I would have learned my lesson now about putting things all the way back together before I test them, but alas, I have not. There's something very satisfying about taking something apart, fixing it, at least fixing it until you think it's fixed, and then putting it back together and it working first try. So we'll see if that's going to happen this time or not. And screws are in. Let's plug it in and try it out and see what happens. Okay, and power. Still power's on, that's good news. Let's put the disc in. And then we will see what happens. It fits on that spindle really nicely.
You know people who are subcontract you out.
Okay,
From mobile
listen
job
for those
and
noises,
making half
those
their
screeching noises.
And tell me how much we charge people. I say, no, me want that kind of thing. I just keep all the job to all this stuff. You ever think you can't do that?
Yeah.
So far, I don't hear any
It's a
screeching.
mess.
This is great
Yeah.
news. Let's make sure the game starts
Transmission
up.
oil needs to bleed out.
I don't know for the transmission, but I never do transmission oil before. It's doing oil change. That's what.
Transmission oil is a filter the on the left hand side.
Man, I got thing. Let me my I got charge of it.
What you need to do?
My fast charge.
Bring it to the fast charge. Don't matter, just say fast charge, just like charge. What you say? Put the phone up there. Put the phone in the car. No matter what you say, it will boost up. It goes slow, then it will go fast. Don't put it down.
Okay, good so far. Zero screeching.
Hold job down. Last time I hold job down, I bend my phone, boy. And I made the glass on.
It seems like things are loading a lot faster. Obviously, I didn't time to see how fast it loaded before, but it does seem to be
Okay,
loading
so what do you think?
faster this time.
Put the one on here. Let me get a clean calculator. You get some calculator over the clean up, stand up.
You have that wood there.
Yeah, the wood the clean.
Okay.
Oh, they have a fan.
The wood clean on it.
I don't know what controls anything on this.
Yeah.
How does the rock keep doing this? You
Put the
punch.
cleanest one up forward, man. Put the other one closer to you.
Leave me alone. Button
You know the
smash to
size
fix
both
it,
are
right?
going is,
What's
I
that?
think
No,
it's
it doesn't
17 or 14. So you have to go prepare. And the filter, they were by the side, this by the wheel. 17 and 14, you can't use them anymore. Man mad. 17 and 14.
Stop just laying there.
We just used 17 a while ago. 17.
Okay, it did just skip a little bit there. But also, I was noticing the game disc is pretty scratched, so that could be all it
One of
is.
the 12. And when
So-
you down there, see which size the transmission bolt is. Is that like that? I can use this.
Okay, so
You
that
need so
noise
much
is
alike.
definitely gone. So I think we have this
And you
one
bring the
fixed.
cardboard around
Let's
place.
move on to
That
the
is over there.
PlayStation 2 and see if we can figure out what's going on with that one. Oh, and here's the disc. You can see it's pretty scratched, so that could be the reason
No, it's over there.
that
The
it
engine over
was
here.
kind of skipping and the game would kind of freeze. I don't know for sure. But
Pretty
unfortunately,
bold.
this is the only game disc I have to use
And
for
find the
testing.
size.
But given that that screeching is all gone and the rest of the PlayStation 1 seems to work fine, I'm going to move on to the PlayStation 2. Now, looking at the PlayStation 2, it is pretty dirty. But look at
The
this.
size of the beam,
That
right?
is
Anyone in
disgusting. That fan is almost totally clogged. So I think before I even test this, I'm gonna get this taken apart and clean it out. And then after it's clean, we can give it a test.
Okay, what
and
the
see if there's
transmission one?
anything
You
else
see the
wrong.
transmission one?
And here we go with my
The other one,
very
the drill
first
plug here looks like.
PS2
Good,
teardown. We've got
That transmission, how much?
a
That
warranty
hole?
sticker over here, so I'm assuming there's a screw over there, but also we've got all these
It's
feet.
supposed to have
So
a drill on it.
usually if there's no visible screws and you see feet, there are screws underneath those. So let's try removing these and see if we're right. Yep, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. This moves as well, so I'm assuming there's one under here. Yep, and one under there. What about over here? Yep, these also move. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and probably one back here. Probably about 9 screws. Let's see if we're right. And now that I think about it, there's probably not a screw under here. It's probably just where the case separates. Let's find out.
What the heck was the other? Shit.
Oh, look at that. Bummer. I avoided my warranty. Okay. All right. It looks like this is ready to come off on the back.
Yeah.
And it looks like this case is ready to come apart. Let me just pull this up. There.
No, not too hot, boy.
Feel like I'm missing something.
You are hot?
No, the boot.
It's hot?
Boy, that there and that
Yeah.
thing that boy. That twist that what do you call that? Shit, I'm wrong that boy.
On the right side?
Well, let's try it from the. Oh, there we go.
The brick?
Comes off from the top side. All right, that's actually pretty easy when you do it right. Oh yeah.
So now on,
We got a
on
lot
this side, right?
in here.
So loosen this.
Let's. So now I
Put
think
it
we
too
can
loose.
get the bottom
Too loose.
Yeah, too
case
loose.
off.
Boy.
Maybe. Oh, still not. Oh, we got a couple screws in here. That's why. Got a screw over here and a screw right here.
So hot.
Okay, now I think it will
You
come
break it?
apart
Yeah.
Don't go down to the ground, man.
from the bottom.
You have a freaking.
Nope. Okay, I guess it's just not supposed to come apart that way. Oh, here we go. Okay. Wow, look at how dirty that is. That is pretty crazy. Let's take a look at the bottom of this.
You good?
Oh my goodness. Look at this.
See if this could fit
So,
in the
I mean,
Allen key.
there's just like so much of it. Just
Which one is
baked
it?
on here. Wow.
No, that's big.
Yeah.
Now I haven't plugged this in, it's just been sitting for who knows how long, so I don't have to worry about this capacitor being
Too
charged.
small?
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna touch the ends on it, but I do know that we should be safe to work on it because it's been just sitting here for
Check this one in.
a long time. Probably months, maybe even years before I bought it. So we need to clean that up a little bit better for sure. And then we need to clean this up as well. We need to remove this disk drive so we can have a look under there. Just make sure everything's good and clean. And while we're here, we should probably go ahead and replace the thermal paste. So let's get more of this dust removed. Now to get the rest of this clean, I'm just going to remove these 4 screws, this cable, and I think that might be all. And then we can get this power supply removed. And we can check out what's under it, clean up the power supply even better. Is it all loose? It looks like, yes, it is. Okay, not too bad. Have a dust bunny under there.
See filter?
Okay.
They're right by the side. I think we
Yeah, that thing's still leaking. Oh yeah, I see it there.
see if your hand could thing like our gloves.
Okay, so next, let's remove this plastic shield here. This shields the rest of the console from the power supply. Just that little thin piece of plastic. Alright, now
See if this is the right size for this thing.
it looks like we need to flip it over and start removing stuff from the other side. I do want to clean this out a
Oh, that
little
was,
bit more here. There's
oh,
a good
that
amount
is
of dust
square.
over here still.
Yeah, but still.
It's a hex. It's full side corner.
Once I get a bunch of this
Also,
off, I
yeah,
will
like
take
a box, yeah,
some
that-
canned air,
That too
maybe
big?
a vacuum, and go
Don't
over it all.
Yeah.
Probably won't do
That's
that
a
on
special
camera
thing,
because I don't want
that
all
always
this dust
make
all
a
over my
square.
workbench, but
But that is size. If
we'll
it
do
was
that
square, that's
once I'm
square.
done.
I tell you, that was
Brushing it off.
To thing.
Okay. All right. It looks like we need to remove this screw to get the fan out, which will enable us to get the disk drive out. As far as I can tell, I probably should just
Is
go
it
ahead
star
and look
square?
up an iFixit
A
repair
square,
guide.
buddy.
That's what I would recommend anyone doing if they're doing something they're not familiar with. But I
Well,
also
we're
do like
giving
the
you this
challenge
square.
of
Dude, I don't
trying
have
something
1, 2,
new and
3,
not having a
4,
repair guide.
5, 5,
There
6,
must be
like,
something else holding these on. This
No,
one I
fitting,
think must be
still
held
fitting.
on.
It didn't have a
About
full
the
kind
wires
of thing.
on the
Is
other
what you
side.
But
talking
I
about.
know what not fitting, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about. Not fitting, not fitting.
Yep. Okay. So
Okay, I put back the bolt there.
I also need
Yeah.
to remove that. That's just swinging around here. That's going to cause a problem. So let's see. Is there a locking tab on this one? Yeah. Maybe. Yep. Okay, good. So then that comes out just like that. There we go. Now we can remove this little guy right here. We don't want to pull on the wires too hard.
Yeah, that good, man.
So I can pull those right out. Let's try pulling on the wires and the connector. Come on. It's slowly coming out. I just wish it wasn't
You got your
hard to
filter
get
off?
out.
I got there now.
With your hand.
there we
Turn the
go.
wheel more.
Okay, now that's out.
Not if you do it.
Now,
Alright.
is there anything holding
Wait, that hard boy.
the disk drive in on this side? Oh, we got a clip right there. That could be it.
Which hand are you using? Right or left?
Huh?
Okay, let's.
Which hand are you using?
Oh, the fan's just
My
on to
right.
fall right out now.
Yeah, use this. That
And
magic
we have
gloves
a
will be there.
Nidec fan. That's interesting because that's the type of fan, one of the types of fans they use in things like PS5s even now. Okay, so let's give this fan a good cleaning now. Again, I'm just going to be trying to get the bulk of the dust off. I will get more of it off, kind of off camera because like I
Any
said,
luck?
I don't want to get all of this dust just
Let's see it.
spread all over my workbench and my cameras and stuff like that. So a lot of times I just go spray this off outside. Sometimes I'll also spray it off with a vacuum nearby so the vacuum can suck it up as I'm
Oh, shit, boy. I'll
spraying it.
You get move?
Oh, buddy. Let's see if I could stick it up. Man. Oh, boy. Ah. It's thicker than it like that.
That is with so much dust.
You know who punch them and spin them?
This is one dirty, disgusting
And I'm not
PS3,
doing
that's
that
for
to you,
sure.
boy. The
But-
punching thing?
We won't hold that against it. It can't help itself. Okay, that's good enough for now. We'll clean it up more in a bit. Now, let's see if we can get
Okay.
this drive out. Okay, so it looks like this kind of held in by this piece right here and in the
Okay.
front right here.
Okay.
So first,
Let me do that over.
let's get that part out and then
Yeah, victory.
Yeah.
slide
Yeah.
it. Let's remove this screw and see if that loosens this whole thing. I
Boy.
think maybe it
I
will.
don't do that for myself. You want a napkin?
Not really. It's attached over here somehow, but I don't know how. Okay. That's out. Oh, there we go. It just pulls right up. That's easier than it looks. There we go. Now, the disk drive should come out, I think.
Yeah.
And it's almost
Ready
got a
next
ribbon
month?
cable. Okay.
Yeah.
2 ribbon cables. 3 ribbon cables. So we've got one right
Is that
here,
the filter in the bucket?
one
Yeah.
right here,
Huh?
one
need one?
right
No.
here,
Oh.
and
You need rod?
one right here. Okay. Is
Look at
that
this
it?
spot up
Nope.
on your face.
We've got one more. With those off though, we can just pull it right out. Think.
Shit, boy.
Oh, no, there's a locking tab. So let's release the locking tab. Then it'll just pull right out. There we go. Okay, oh, we got a disc in here. Cool. And also a piece of hair wrapped around the spindle. Oh, more than one. What a bonus. So I'm pretty sure this is definitely going to have to be cleaned. So let's do that next. Then we'll get the rest of the board cleaned. And then maybe we'll be done with the cleaning on this one. We can put it back together enough to test it and see if it works or if there's any more repairs that need to be done. Okay, I see 2 screws on the top here. Hopefully these are the only ones holding this thing down. There's probably some sort of clips or something though. Okay. Yeah, there's something back here. Yep, got some clips back here. So one right over here. Oh, that's not bad though. You can just push down and release them. That's good. That makes it easy. Ah! It all just came apart. So what do we have? We have Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2. I don't know anything about that game, but
Nothing
it
more.
sounds kind of like a gimmick, honestly. Hopefully we can get this thing started and see what that game's actually like. Also, oh, there we go.
You got
Oh,
the
yeah,
bottle of
wow.
on it.
Look at all that dust. And the laser is just totally dirty. Let's try cleaning that first. Okay, I'm guessing this will probably need a new laser, but let's try and clean this. Wow, that was so dirty. This might actually, if this disk drive didn't work, that might be enough to fix it. I mean, that's just, was just so dirty in there. Okay. And use a little canned air to dry that off. There we go. Okay, now to clean the rest of the drive. Wow, just look at that. That's just so nasty. This thing might work just fine after we get all of this cleaned up. And one thing I like to do on these spindles, there's usually like a rubber piece right here that kind of grips the disc. I do like to make sure those are clean, as much as I can. Sometimes it's pretty tough to clean them very good, but I'm gonna try and clean this one. All right, let's turn it over and clean more of the inside of the drive. Mechanically, I don't really see any problems with the inside of this drive. I mean, it's dirty, but as far as I can tell, the rest of it actually looks okay. I mean, I do keep pulling hair out of this spindle. I mean, that's not ideal, but unless there's just so much that it's causing it to bind up, that shouldn't be a huge deal. So I just want to make sure we get all of the hair off at the important pieces. Then we'll give it a better general cleaning on the outside. Then we can put it back together and see what it does. One of the things I wanted to make sure and show on the PS2 is the PS logo right here. If you have your console horizontal like this, then the logo looks great like that. If you decide to put it up vertical like this, you can actually just twist the logo And then the logo is right side up, whether it's vertical or horizontal. That is such a cool feature that PlayStation built into the PS2. Okay, the disk drive is not perfect, but it's looking pretty good now. Let's get it back together, and then we can replace the thermal paste in this PS2. As far as I can tell, we just need to remove a whole bunch of these tiny silver screws, and then I think this metal plate will come off, and we can have a look at the other side of the board, and we'll get down to the thermal paste someday.
That thing is Allen key.
Like I said, I've never taken one of these apart before, so I don't actually know when I'll get to the thermal paste. On the other side, there's the heat sink, and I'm assuming after we get the heat sink off, then we'll get to the thermal paste. Looks like all these screws are the same except for these two right here. But can I remember that, or should I mark them? That is the question. I think I can remember, which means I should mark them.
Huh?
All right, now
Did you think that
we're able to remove short.
Yeah,
we
you
can get this
was done
heat
dirty on
sinks off. I don't see any screws on this thing. Any more screws?
What about that?
That was up too long. I think
Maybe it's just held down by the thermal paste. Okay, we're getting somewhere. There we go. Okay, we got some dust there we'll clean off. Now let's go to the other side. And I'm guessing this is just stuck on with the thermal paste. I sure hope anyway. Oh man. Ah, there we go. Okay, how does it look?
Yeah.
Oh, we just got a big thermal pad. Since the PS2 uses a
Why don't
thermal
I-
pad, and the pad
3.5
actually seems to be in pretty good condition. The PS2 isn't known for overheating or getting super hot, so I don't see any problem just putting this back on. If I do notice an overheating issue once we get this thing started up and use it, then I can come back and either replace the pad or put some thermal paste in there. I think a pad is going to be better because of how thick the pad is. That tells me that there's probably a lot of space between the chips on the board and the heatsink, and in my opinion, thermal paste, when there's a thick gap, probably isn't the best option. So a thermal pad would probably be better. So I'm just going to clean this metal plate up, then I'll get it reinstalled, and then start the reassembly process.
And it is just international that he finished on there. But sure that thing is a hacksaw. Let me come and see it. That must be one of them.
Now, one thing I will do as far as cleaning on
That's a
these
good-
chips is I am going to come through with a
Why don't
Q-tip
we
and
go-
some isopropyl alcohol, clean
Tell
them
me
all
quick.
up, especially since I was just kind of blowing dust all around on the board. That will ensure that these are nice and clean on the top, and we get a really good seal between
I'll put this
the
on
top of the chips and the thermal pad. Okay, those are looking nice and clean now. Now we can reinstall that top metal plate, and we'll be ready to continue the reassembly. All right.
Jay told me to figure something
I
out.
really hope there's no major problems with this, because
Looks
I
like
already
it,
have it all
looks
the
like
way
it
apart
right
down
on
to the board.
The
So
right
we
one.
basically have to put
Right
the
one,
whole
bring
thing
it-
all the way
bring it
back
up.
together just to test it. I mean, not all the way, but mostly back together. But I mean, I couldn't just start this thing up without cleaning it. It was just so dirty. Probably would have overheated right away. Okay. That's good. Now we need to do a little bit more cleaning on this top plate. I'm going to be ready to put that on as well. Or maybe this is the bottom one. I don't even know anymore. Guess it doesn't really matter. Got more thermal pads here. I need to make sure and not get them too dirty. Dirt and hair don't transfer heat nearly as well as these thermal pads do. So we want to keep those things clean. And again, I'm mostly just loosening the dust with this brush. And I'll come through with some canned air and just very lightly spray it off. that will remove the dust without putting it all up in the air and getting all over my equipment and tools and stuff. So it'll come in with the canned air, just push pretty lightly. You can see that gets most of it off of the metal,
Wait, anyway, tell you the
but it doesn't get all over my
So
studio.
the star is a hex with.
The box, a square.
There we go.
Oh, you have square in your hand.
Yeah, but
All right. And now we're just
it's not
gonna
fitting. That
go
look like the right way to fit it.
straight
But usually
down.
one telescope, I
I
think.
think.
Only two I could use there. One that almost fitting and one maybe I have to hit it in.
Okay.
Shake it
And
in
that
or
looks
something.
good.
If you hit it in,
Now
if you hold
two
it dirty up or
different
dirty like that,
screws.
don't think
Gonna
it-
go right
Give
here.
me a hammer
Ah,
or something.
remembered. You didn't think I was gonna be able to remember. And right here. Okay, to be honest, I wasn't sure I remember either, but okay, now we can reinstall the rest of the screws, then flip it over and start assembling the top side. Now these ribbon cables have to go in these connectors, but they're like so hard to get to.
It's like it's too big more.
That, and the next one is that small one there. Those two, if you don't fit there.
There's
something
probably a
different
way better way to do this, but I don't know what it is,
there.
so
This one too small.
we're just gonna do the best we
Nothing.
can. Hopefully we
Nothing
can get the
same
ribbon
size.
cables
That's good
installed
size,
all the way. Okay, I think that one is when we're
Same
in
size.
where it needs to be. This one shouldn't be too difficult. It is one of the bigger ones.
I think give me a hammer and hit that in by the end.
Yeah, hit
Come
it,
on.
it's supposed to feel like it's going.
Okay.
You know, use hammer for hit that.
Give me a, in my phone. and
Okay,
try to
that
find
one.
some of this.
Is good. Now this one.
Let me just
Okay.
press it still in there.
We have those ones. Just one more. And I think we have them all, and I don't think I tore any of them.
Oh shit.
So that's good. Okay.
Go for it.
Did this drive all in where it should be? Oh, nice. We can see right here
See?
the ribbon cables. You can see
Oh,
are
that
installed
cheap
all the way
one,
right
yeah.
up to the black lines where they need to be. I don't
That like
see
this-
one
that
on
like
this
this
one,
ratchet
but I
to
don't
have.
think that one has
Oh
one.
shit, you can't
so-
tell me that one.
Okay. So disk drive is fully installed now. Now I think we need
That's
to install
it.
this guy after we clean it, and then after that the fan
this?
can go in. So I'm
What
not
this piece?
exactly sure how this comes out because
Oh,
when I pulled it out
Gee,
before, it
it's-
just kind of like came out, and I'm not sure how it was connected. Although,
wait.
is that already
Done?
It's
Yeah.
on there?
Okay. So
Okay, so we got a tab here that this guy slides into. That's easy.
where that good on loose.
Where does
Loose
this
is
other
off,
one
right?
go?
Loose is
So
pushing
that
back
goes
to the
down
back of
there.
the car.
This one.
That tighten to the back. Loose is pushing forward.
Okay, I think that's just how it goes. So then this screw goes in here.
Off.
Now the power button can go in. It just slides in right there. And now we can get the fan in. I do need to finish cleaning it though. So I'm gonna do that and then we'll get it in there. I gotta make sure the wire goes down through here
Break it.
to the other side of the board and just
Huh?
fits right in.
The other thing to
Okay.
is that.
Easy enough.
The other thing can't carry the oil.
You
Yeah,
have
but
to
I
remember
told
how
you,
to
I'm
put
thinking of
this
the
in. This
Jamie.
must go
Maybe
like
too much.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
like
the
this.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I got to choke some of this. I went over for
And then
get back
this
there.
metal
Hold
piece
on.
goes
Yeah.
here, and then we can put the power supply in. Okay, now we need to make sure that these pins go up in here correctly. I'm actually not even sure the best. Actually, is that
I'll
going
tell you the
on
thing.
okay?
Is that I
Oh
tell you
yeah,
it's
there we
not
go.
fitted, but
Okay, that looks good. That's how that's supposed to be. We can also connect
Yeah,
this
that's
guy
just
right
fine.
here.
listen, I see that.
There we go. Now we just need to install the screws for this, and we're getting closer. And now with this fitted down into the bottom case, I think we can reinstall this guy. How does
You make
this
it
go?
easy. I just use your ratchet and just break
That
it.
looks like, which means this. I can't see that. Okay, so got that on there. This will sit down in here.
Everything.
Put the other screws on,
In front of me, buddy.
and then we'll be ready to test. So we'll get this thing plugged in, and we'll give it a test and see if it works, or if we actually need to do a repair now. Okay, we have it all plugged in. We'll power it on the back. And press the power button. And we get nothing. No power at all. Okay, well, I guess we start there, and now we got to figure out why it's not powering on. Now with the power supply out, let's start doing some basic checks. I did check to make sure that there was 120 volts coming
You
in,
mess up the ground?
and there is. Let's check and make sure the fuse is good. If it is good, the meter should be indicating that there
pushing
is
forward to you.
basically no resistance from this point to this point.
Well, I won't fly my face more
There we go.
like
3,
Well,
2,
forward
2
and
ohms.
pushing.
So between this point and this point, there is not a broken path. So if this was bad, this part of the fuse would blow, and that would make it so there was not a path for the current to flow from here over to here. Now, I did a little bit of research online, and on the Bad Caps forum and the GBA Temp forum, they said that this capacitor and this capacitor are very well-known problems with this power supply. So let's just replace those, and then we can see if it works after that. I've already stolen a capacitor off of this old board. This is for a hoverboard. And so I've stolen a capacitor off of that, but I want to test it and make sure the capacitor is good. So this is the one that I took off. I'm going to move my meter over to this symbol right here, the straight line, and then the curved line right here. That's capacitance. And let's give it a try and see what it shows. Just one probe on one and one probe on the other. We get a reading of 49 microfarads, and this one is rated at 47. So I believe that one is good. Now this capacitor is 22 microfarads. This one is 47 microfarads. This one is 50 volts, and this one is 50 volts. Now on this power supply, at least according to the Bad Caps forum, you can replace this capacitor with one of a much higher microfarad and voltage rating. I don't know if that's true in general on electronics, but in this case it is. So we're going to replace this one with this one. And to do that, we need to start by removing it. So I already have it marked here with black. I'm going to add some flux and then use some solder wick to wick up all of the solder. And then that capacitor should essentially just fall right out.
Yeah, we'll take.
Aku kena water.
Wait, no, what's my?
Let's go down here nice and tag them up.
Okay, now I'm just gonna need to clean up my work area here. Get as much flux off as I can. Most of this flux, especially no clean flux, if you use that, you don't usually need to worry about cleaning it, but obviously it makes it a lot cleaner and less sticky and stuff if you get your fingers in it. Plus it just makes a better looking repair. So let's just check both of these capacitors and see if they were bad. This one's a 22 microfarad. We get a reading of 22. Okay, so this one actually was good. Now you might be wondering why I didn't check these with it in the board. And you can't actually check capacitance while the capacitor is in circuit. So that is why I didn't check the board.
Yeah.
And we've got, oh, it's dropping 7.7 microfarads, and it just keeps dropping. This should be a, what do we got here? 33 microfarads. So this one is definitely bad. So that gives me hope. Maybe that's all that's wrong with this power supply. Let's put back into this PS2 and see if it works. So here we we go. Just need to.
But next
This
thing I
part
can
on
find another
correctly.
thing going in that way. That whole
There
tin
we
in
go.
that boy.
And this goes over to the other side. Need to put these screws in, and then we will get that power button installed. I did watch a video where my mate Vince fixed one of these when I was doing some research for trying to fix this thing. My mate Vince had a PS2
Oh,
that
God.
the power switch inside was actually bad. So I was kind of wondering if that might be what was wrong with this one, but this one was getting power through this connector just fine. So I knew that was the
Them
issue.
things tin in that boy.
Good there. Now to install the power switch.
That whole so small.
There we go. Okay, we got it plugged into power. We
And
have
charge
it
again.
just
Huh?
together enough to test. Let's turn the power on and see if we get a
Plug
light
in?
over here.
26 you
Come
much.
on. Oh, red light. That's what I'm talking about. And if we power it on, we
Yeah,
get the
think
green
we're gonna hold
light.
it boy.
So this PS2 is powering on. The fan's working great. It's spinning up the disc. The disc is playing on the screen, so it's safe to say the PS2 is all fixed. Let's move on to the PS3 and see if we can figure out that one. The disk drive door actually seems to work on this PS3, which is cool. I don't see anything too obvious going on with it. So let's plug it in and see what happens. Looks like we have a red light over here. It's just very faint, but we do have a red light. Okay, we got a beep. Let's see if we see anything on the screen coming up. Okay, nothing at all on the screen. Let's try it with an HDMI cable. Okay, HDMI. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's try it with a game. Let's put a game in and see if it'll play a game. I bought this game. I didn't actually realize it was brand new though. Never played it.
You can't get a phone, you can't go down hold that whole too small boy.
It's a little dirty in there, but we'll see if it's gonna work. Okay.
Is it?
That whole too small, you can't get nothing good on the hold the phone.
Oh. So it's not wanting to spin up. Or is it?
You see the hole? Right there.
So you do.
And it's actually playing the game even. This, I think when I bought this, it said it had like a HDMI problem.
What's thing that
Also, I don't know if the PS5 really works on these,
What are you
but
talking about, buddy? Cut that
No.
more there.
no, it doesn't.
The leak
Huh? What will go leak, buddy? You fit anything inside? That's mad.
inside.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a bummer.
Just cut that more.
All right, let's try
Fit
DualShock
that
4.
inside, buddy.
See if we can get into this game. Okay, DualShock 4 works just fine.
That there like that, right?
I get better there, man. You send me a police out of the oil on the ground.
Oh, the thing is tight.
Hold on.
Whoa, there we go. Okay.
Squeeze one of them here.
Through the waterfall.
Put it here. It's better. And no,
Let's
if I cut this
it.
though, I can still
Woo!
put this in this.
Okay. So the game is also clearly working. I can't find anything wrong with this PS3. I think when I bought it, it said that the HDMI port was faulty, but even when I wiggle the cable, everything works fine. Now, I bought this PS3 off of eBay, and many times on eBay, you get something in worse condition than you thought it was going to be, but every once in a while, you get something like this that's in way better condition. In fact, this one is working when I bought it for parts. So I always love it when that happens. It kind of helps to counteract the times when you get something and it's not so great. Now, let's move on to the PS4 and see if we can figure out what's wrong with that
Now we
one.
could just use the
This
bottom.
PS4, you might actually recognize, this is the PS4 that Robert did a cleaning video on, and then I tried to start it up, and it wouldn't show anything on the TV. And when I look into the HDMI port, I don't see any initial issues. I'm gonna plug this in one more time and just test it again. Make sure we get a white light.
Without licking their
so
body.
far. Okay, and it does go to the white light, and we have nothing on the screen. So all we do now is take it apart and have a look at the HDMI system. Now, if you saw the video where Robert cleaned his PS4, neither of us actually tested the PS4 before he did his video. So in the video where he cleaned it and I tried to start it up at the end and it didn't turn on, I kind of made it sound like it was his fault, when in reality, we don't know whether it worked or not before he even took it apart. And honestly, most likely it didn't. I bought this, I think, off of Goodwill, but I don't even remember for sure. But I probably bought it as salvage, so it probably didn't even work before he even started the cleaning. But the nice thing about this one is looking inside of it, it's going to be nice and clean. We don't usually get to work on consoles that are really clean like this one on my channel. Okay, and now we can get to the motherboard. I mean, let's face it probably just doesn't have the perfect amount of thermal paste. Let's have a closer look at this HDMI port. And right away I see a problem. I don't know for sure if this is the only problem, but this pin has been pushed through this HDMI port. This is like one of the original styles of HDMI ports, and these are horrible. They had tons of problems with them because the pins can just push right out the back. So the first thing we're going to do is replace this with a much better HDMI port. Once we get that done, then we'll just put it back together and test it, because I think this is likely the only issue with this HDMI system. In order to replace this HDMI port, I'm going to heat it from the bottom. And as I heat it, you'll see this solder turn shiny on all of these mounting pins. And once it's ready, it's just going to fall right out the bottom. We have to be super careful not to push down on the HDMI port, as there's 19 small pins on the other side of the board. And if we push down too early, those pins can just tear up along with the traces on the board itself. So we just need to let it kind of do its thing on its own. And I might have
one time, boy, when you get marked back on for sip,
just to help it
like
fall out.
sip and
But
enjoy the
I'm not gonna
moment.
push down on it at all. So once it's ready, it'll just fall right out. And then we'll come in with the new port and put the new port up.
So you will send it, you will lend me that thing?
And hold it
So I
down
need to
while
pay
the
that
solder
thing.
solidifies. Now, sometimes when I'm doing this,
I need
if
that.
it seems like it's taking a while,
That
I
might come
will
out
take my
tonight.
tweezers and
Tonight.
just push on the solder around the mounting pins and just see if it's getting liquid. In this case, it is getting liquid, and now you can see the port is starting to fall out. I'm just going to lift up on it a little bit, and then it'll probably just fall out the rest of the way. There we go. Now I'm going to keep my heat on those pins, on those, not the pins, but the, well, the mounting pins.
Capacity.
And then I'm going to bring my new port,
Give me
put
come
it up through the mounting pins, the holes
You put
there.
you put all that, not that all that transmission. Why my thing cannot change like that? My transmission also change like that?
Is sticking nicely
You know?
to the post.
Yeah, you could change it. But you also have to open.
And
You
then
got a gym plug?
Yeah.
Right, you could change
now,
it.
what I'm also going to
So,
do, just to make sure
change mine.
this is
Why they put gym
soldered
plug
on
in?
solidly,
It's supposed to be what lifetime?
my tweezers
So I
to
could
put
change
some
mine.
pressure on the port, and then come in and heat it all up again.
Piece of the Japan, I don't know.
That will help to make sure that it is fully seated onto the board.
Yeah, boy.
And there we go. Now
I use that one for last study.
and check
if that
the 19
more.
pins on the
I
back
see them
side.
right by top. Get rid of it.
And now with this port soldered on, initially it all looks great, but these pins aren't actually soldered down all the way. So I need to come through
Right up on the top.
with my tiny soldering iron, my micro pencil, and solder these all down. And
The one thing is
this will be ready to test. I'm going to put some flux on these pins first. That will just help the solder flow nicely.
Damn. Very careful with that thing. And careful with this transmission. They'll mess up your transmission. Simple like this, the thing like this.
Yeah.
Mess up your shifting.
You do the thing last buddy, use that. Or pour some what you do? Oh, that thing, you see?
Yeah, I got it down.
Blue. Ready.
Yeah, I got it straight. This is the transmission thing by brick. This is the transmission filter. Yeah, I'm sure that coming last, isn't it? Guy just float up to the bottom. When you do so, it floating back up.
You put all that in that?
Yeah. How much come out?
Not too much.
Buddy. That ain't come out, you know. Why that don't come out to the bottom already long time? Let's see. Let me see how much come out. It's like a good, a good statement you make there. Bring it out, let me see. Shit. That one. About 4 quart come out, 3, 4. That's more than 3 for sure. Give them one punch. That's it.
You the next one?
Well, you never know. We come out, could have been fucking low too, right?
Yeah.
So that
What is recommended?
I don't know.
Didn't matter.
It have a dipstick on it,
Yeah.
but I want to too much because you have to open the plug again.
Well, check it because I don't go. I don't go.
Should I give me into it?
What?
The oily. They pull up them and see how much, so you get an idea.
Through that?
Yeah. I'm gonna make so much of a mess of it. Throw some more. Okay, hold up. Okay, one more. Put what you in. Okay, stop.
Check meat.
And now all there is left to do is clean this all up and put it in and test it. And it's all back together. Let's see what happens when we try to turn it on. We get the blue light, good.
So you put two. You're afraid that already,
But do
boy.
we get anything on the screen?
It's too much.
Oh, black screen, good. Yeah, we got the PlayStation.
See what you got. I want to miss. I want to full right up too much.
My system is all fixed. Let's move on.
So put you already, right?
Final PlayStation.
That's
the
free.
PlayStation
Everyone's
5.
out there.
So far we fixed the PS4.
This one full up. This overfull.
Let's see if we can
So
fix
at least
all the
3 come out.
PlayStations by fixing this PS5.
We put
We need to update. Now this PS5, I know what's wrong with it.
Give me one more and pull
I know
half.
from a viewer who tried
Huh?
to fix the
Pull half.
HDMI port himself. That
Half
didn't
of
go
what?
too
You
well.
want more?
So he wanted to sell it to me so I could
Pull half and then
video.
start it and check
I'm
it
not
out.
sure what to expect, but a lot of times you can try your first HDMI port, but
That is so long as you don't burn out already.
it can get pretty bad.
And then when it
take it
heat
onto
it
this
up.
motherboard and see how bad it
And
is.
check it.
So that worked a little bit. This piece of metal mesh was just squished onto the board. This is supposed to go over here. Also, this connector looks pretty much destroyed, which means the ribbon cable probably
Yes.
is as well.
And then start it up.
No, oh, yeah, it's not great. Might need to replace
Start it up
that.
on later on.
Okay,
Then you check it.
so far, I can definitely
Size
see
up?
someone trying to fix that HDMI.
Just put
port.
in drive reverse, forward, drive reverse.
Also,
Until I get warm up and I go check it again.
awkward. I'm trying to see if it's missing any other
Ready?
components on the board.
Yeah.
I don't see anything right offhand.
No, no. Gotta stay still, low boy. I put you in this follow me. That's what they need man by 5. I'm not kidding you, the whole engine. See my detail. I mean, engine change it. Take, same thing. And mileage and valve adjust. You ain't involved in that. Too much problem and pressure there. First thing man I say, that doesn't valve boy take still make a noise. So your time ain't really value nothing. Yeah, you have these of course, so and you got knocked in it. That might problem. Alright guys, we just doing we got a timing belt for this car, 2009 Honda Accord, and we finished already. So now we just doing transmission oil change. Thank you guys for stopping in. I hope you guys having a good night, because we gotta keep it positive still. I'm not feeling 100%, but what you gonna do? Keep yourself down and just keep getting down. No, lift it up. Yeah, it's a Honda Accord 2009. We just did the timing belt, the tension, water pump, and all that stuff new, but still have a tap in because the valve need to adjust. That's not really my problem, because I didn't came here for that. So these engines always have these habits of making all this tapping noise because they have an adjustable valve. They don't have hydraulic lifters that adjust with the pressure of the oil. So sorry for this one, you have to adjust the valve. I have a car like this, but it's accurate TL. It was tapping so bad, I tried to adjust the valve about 6 times. I just gave up. I had to put a different engine in the car. So for one reason, it's not misfiring, it's running nicely. So it's something to do with the internal of the valves, opening and closing. Or you get overheating because you're shaving the head. So probably cheap on your end, but it's expensive this side. So we're not doing a lawnmower today. I bought 2 more handheld lawnmower blower, but guys are gonna be showing you that, but not right now. As I say, I'm not in the best condition right now to keep going and stuff. I just bring a little stuff as it goes by. So this one is finished, but we're just checking the oil to make sure we get the right oil level. This is done. So we gotta get the right temperature when you check the transmission oil. You gotta get to operating temperature to the oil to stabilize. So that's why when you check in the transmission, it's always the best to check the oil when the engine is running, start, and it's on operating temperature. Yeah, overheating is crazy. If you don't get a good head, you overheat. Even in real life, if you don't get a good head in your head, you overheat too. This engine ain't gonna last too long enough. You are changing two head up on this.
I myself I'll do oil change in my car.
That's good. That's very good. So the rest are left back. You're gonna put this back in. I'm gonna throw the remaining half that we left out for now, because it's not, the level's not up yet, so oh shit, that's why they bring 5. You remember, right? So far so good. So far so good. We moving forward because we did all the time now and we have all the timing component there. But we hand the box in. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and consider subscribing. Don't step in the oil. So this is everything that we changed. We did a good old water pump because guys, this is the original water pump from Honda. So this was in the car for a while, so they changed that too. We changed our tensioner. I had the pulley for the timing kit. And our adjuster tensioner for the adjuster for the guys, they really need to rest. So this one goes here. Push this up to the tension and the timing belt. So we're gonna take this back out and we're gonna check with the engine running. What we got here? It just went up a little bit, see? So you need all that feet. Yeah. It went up a little bit, so it's going up. Guys, be careful with this piece. Don't want to get to go in your transmission. We're gonna show half. And then we're gonna check it again. foliage. Too much miles. I had 3.5 engine out there. Low miles, you could buy it if you want. Okay. That's going down. Clean out the stick. I'm gonna check it again. Let's see where we are. Okay. So you see there? Have a look. So we reach the mark, but we're gonna add a little bit more. How much is left of it now? You're just gonna add a little bit more. Guess why? It's coming summer and it's gonna be warmer and oil gonna be burning more. With the temperature, the heat, oil burn more. So we're gonna add a little bit more. Not to get too over much. Just a little bit more. That's it. So that will go on through the summer and your oil will burn, but you still have enough safe amount to proceed still. So we're going to take this out. Still draining the it's still draining, guys, inside. Okay. Now we're gonna run a checker in now. Okay. So that's perfect. With a big socket 17. And that's about it. Engine have a tapping, but I can't fix that right now. That's their problem. And I won't get into that detail. That is a different next level by itself. I don't want to get into it. You like from under the push the light. The light.
No?
This ain't supposed to be. You're supposed to do like this. Like this.
Dia children. When you guys see children, you what?